Alright lads, it is that time of the month again where I let you know what events are going to be coming out to the NA version of the game for this glorious month of November, and what a glorious month it's going to be. Not only are we going to be getting a lotto, as I talked about in yesterday's video, but we're also going to be getting a smattering of other little bits of content that are kinda nice, and there is a particular character that is going to be making their rerun, at least should be making their rerun during this month, that is going to be a huge help for all players. So make sure you are saving your Saint Quartz if you do not have the best character in the game. And when we say the best character in the game, I mean literally the best character in the game. But we have a lot to talk about, so I'm just not going to jibber jabber at the beginning of this video. You know, like, subscribe, Discord, Twitch, all that stuff's in the description. You guys can figure that out. You guys are big boys, alright? So let's move right into the content. So first and foremost, we should already have Advanced Quest Part 10 over on the NA side of things. This should have already dropped or is going to drop later today. This one's actually not all too bad, as I mentioned in a previous video. Finn and the Kiyohime boss fights I think are actually pretty good if you want to go test some of your new servants out and kind of see what mileage you're going to get on them, as these are proper boss fights, but they're not too annoying that you're going to be pulling hair out. The only one that I really can't speak too much on is the Night Metal fight, because I don't actually remember doing this one on JP, and I need to go ahead and do it again to kind of refresh my memory on it. It doesn't look too bad, but I'll go into more detail when I actually put out my, Advanced Quest 10 guide in the next couple of days here. So just be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be the next video that comes out over here on the channel. But again, the Fion one and the Kiyohime one are not all that bad. I mean, I remember that I just brought like a Pierce Invincibility, Pierce Defense servant and just kind of got through the Kiyohime one. She does give herself extra defense. That's why you gotta have to bring and ignore defense as well, because if you ignore invincibility, she tries to stack defense to get around that, so you can't just like one-turn her, but you can still just kind of one-turn her anyway. But after that, in about a week from now, we should be seeing the release of the Chaldea Fairy Knight Cup, or the Tamlin Cup over here on the NA side of things. That's pretty much just what they're calling the Fairy Knights. And already off rip, we're getting some nice little bonuses for the pre-release campaign. If you log in every single day, you're going to be getting 7 golden apples, which, trust me, you are going to want those for the lottery. Lotteries are some of the best events, if not just straight up the best events in the game. And you want to be able to hit these events and hit them hard. Do not worry, if you do see that it's locked behind Lost Belt 6, that's just the story. The story is like 4 chapters, and I mean, I skimmed through it on JP when I came out. It's not like the craziest thing. Like, if you're a huge lore head, then obviously you're probably already caught up on Lost Belt 6, so this is not a concern to you. But if you're like early on into the game, do not worry. The free quests are open pretty much to everybody that has finished Fuyuki, so you'll be able to get all those mats and the goodie materials as long as you've just done the bare minimum of just finishing Fuyuki, which you'll probably want to do to get Waver to make your farming a little bit easier. We're also going to get a little bit of Saint Quartz. There's like a mission to get 3 million QP to like do your advanced quests. They're just trying to give you incentive to go do those. I mean, try your best, go get those things done. There is a summoning campaign that is going to be bringing Morgan back. Obviously, whenever she drops, I'm going to go ahead and do a huge simping video talking about like why Morgan is the GOAT and everything. So just be on the lookout for that, as, Morgan aficionado #1 over here. NP5 120 got all the stuff unlocked. I'm a bit of a Morgan simp. I got to represent my husband in this one. So I'll drop a video talking about her. But if you do want to summon for Morgan, yes, she is worth it. If you wanted to be your farmer, either A, pretty much only use her on stages that she has power mod, or invest in higher NP copies. But even then, she can still struggle a little bit. I'll go into more detail on that in the Morgan video. But just real quickie review, she's very, very strong. She's still very, very good. And the CE that you can get on her raid up, the Valentine Witches CE, is not bad, giving you Pierce Invincibility, NP damage, and NP gain. That's just kind of a straight up useful CE to have. I haven't max limit broken over on JP because, again, obviously, CE that has Morgan on it, I'm going to be max limit breaking that. And I have used it still to this day. I just find it to be a very strong CE to have. But then we have the Lost Belt 7 pre-release support campaign part 1, which is going to have some returnee bonuses, and it's going to bring some other stuff, but nobody cares about that. What you care about is that Castoria and Da Vinci Rider are going to be coming out. Now, if this is anything like the original campaign that released over on JP, we'll be seeing this closer to the end of the month, around when the Thanksgiving banner is going to drop. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they drop this a week or two into the Lotto event, because getting Castoria during a Lotto can be an absolute game changer, because if you need to do 90++ farming, she's really good at multi-core because you can split up her batteries. Skill 1 and skill 2 are split. and that is very useful for those nodes. It's also just useful for 90 plus nodes if you just don't have the strongest farmers, but you're able to get through by splitting up, say, an AoE and a single target DPS. Castoria is exceptional for getting that stuff done. So the fact that she is coming back, that should be an A1 emergency priority for every single player playing this game right now, because Castoria is still the best unit in the game. Pretty much carries arts on her back. She is exceptional for challenge quests. The only technical power creep she has is the fact that Hakunon as a boss ignores Solemn Defense, right? He's able to get around that. But even then, they only get around the Solemn Defense buff. They don't get around her third skill, which gives you normal invincibility. So even then, she has a way to still get around Hakunon, having a way to counter her NP. She's like, well, I still have the third skill invincibility, so get around that. And also, do not trip up. Castoria is going to be going on raid up first from at least it's about like 7 days once the campaign drops. And then Da Vinci will be going on raid up 2 days before Castoria leaves. So don't think they're going to be on raid up at the same time. Don't get tripped up on that. Just go for Castoria. If you do not have her, this should be an A1 priority. She is disgustingly good. She is very, very strong. The fact that they are putting her out first before Koyan Light and Oberon, I think is an absolute godsend. Because even if you don't get Oberon or Koyan Light, you can be hard carried by Castoria, as I have been on the JP side of things for the last 3 to 4 years. I only have Castoria over there, and I guess Caster Scotty, but Caster Scotty's not Ruler Scotty. She can't really carry you through content by herself nowadays. You really do want like Ruler Scotty or Oberon at the very least to help supply her. And without Oberon, without any of these other guys, Castoria has gotten me through all the content in the game. She is still ridiculously good. So do not miss out on this servant. Make sure you prioritize him. I know I'm repeating it, but just beat this into your head as a new player. Prioritize this servant. As the Morgan simp, I know Morgan is hot, but like you gotta prioritize getting your account off the ground. If you do not have a main support, like if you already have Koyanskaya and you already have Koyanskaya Oberon, maybe you have Ruler Scotty, and you really, really like Morgan, maybe you could try to make an excuse to go for her, but I still, if it was me, would go for Castoria. I would lock all of my Saint Courts into that, and I would summon every single day that she's available until I get my hands on her. She is just that good. She is disgusting. I will probably drop a video when she drops, just also as a reminder to go summon for her, right? Like just, again, to sing praises and to be like, hey, numbnuts, she's on raid up, go get her now. Now we might also see Advanced Quest 11 drop after that, or somewhere around the end of November. This is one that I actually don't recall doing. I think this is one that I might have skipped out on over on the JP side of things, so you guys can call me a bum, call me a fraud, all that good stuff, but I will go ahead and release a review for this, or I guess a guide for this whenever it does officially drop over here on the NA side of things. Again, because we do have the Thanksgiving banners, which we do pretty much get every single year. We don't know who's going to be on them. Nothing is confirmed, but we do always get those every single year. This might get pushed back a little bit, or maybe they'll roll like Castoria and this into the Thanksgiving campaign. Kind of hard to tell what they're going to try to do, so just be aware that we might see Advanced Quest Part 10 and 11 in this month, but again, could be jumbled a little bit because of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, if you're not familiar, maybe you're just not a long-time player, generally they just bring back a bunch of just different servants that are super popular, try to throw them out there, a bunch of limited guys. You can look forward to it if you already have somebody like Castoria. Maybe you also have Koyanskaya Oberon. Don't have to worry about them. You could potentially get some like really good servants on that. Although it's probably just going to be a random smattering of guys that are probably not going to be as good as, say, like Kukulkan releasing at the end of the year. Or I guess technically end of January if we're going off of JP schedule. But we also have Tets coming out. You have Nido Chris Alter. You have the Summer Servants. You got, I mean, just the Arcade Collaboration Servants. You just have a bunch of dummy nutty servants that until they release, I'm going to keep beating it into people's heads saying, like, just keep in mind, these guys are really good. Especially, again, if you're like me, then you only have Castoria on JP and you've been pretty much hard carried by exactly Draco, Kenshin, and Berserker Castoria, right? Like, those three have pretty much hard carried me through, like, not having any other unit. They're just so good, do so much damage that Oberon, who don't need him, don't need that bozo. Let's just rip and tear through everybody else as if we already had Oberon. So, again, we don't know who they're going to go ahead and drop. Obviously, I'll put out a video whenever, you know, they do drop the Thanksgiving banner. I'll talk about who's worth summoning for, who's not. Again, take a lot of that with a grain of salt in that, you know, the servants that are coming out next year are really, really good. And I would obviously highly prioritize going for them over any of these servants I could possibly return, because I can't really see who they would bring back. Aside from, I don't know, Koyanskaya and Oberon again, Castoria again, it really does have to be like broken supports to peel you away from these servants we're getting next year. Next year's power creep is absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that we're kicking off with a servant that is going to be in every single banner, has a 100% battery, and supports the party is a little dummy nutty insane. And the fact that people like Pope Joanna, Wangina, Takasugi just kind of get swept under the rug. I mean, even Kashi and Koji, these servants are not bad. It's just the other servants around them kind of blow them out of the water, and they're just ridiculously insane. But yeah, that's pretty much all we're going to be getting for the month of November in a nutshell. I was trying to keep it short, sweet, and simple in this video. I think I spent a little bit too much time hammering in the Castoria point, but it is very important. It is one of those things that if you are a new player coming in, I want to make sure that I did everything that I could to make sure you looked at Castoria and you said, no, you're summoning for that character. I don't care if you don't like saber faces. I don't care if you thought Lost Build 6 with mid. I do not care. You need that servant. That servant is disgusting. They have not been power crept. The only thing that can happen for them is they get better if, God forbid, they decide to buff them in the future. So they can only go up. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you are most looking forward to in the month of November. For me personally, it's seeing baby girl Morgan, at least for a week when she's going to be up on raid. If that's going to be perfect for me, I'm looking forward to getting, I don't know, some crumbs of her being in the story. I'll be looking forward to that because I just go brazy anytime she comes out. And I would also love to see what you guys think is going to be on the Thanksgiving banner. Maybe we'll do a prediction on that, like on maybe like Thursday or Friday stream. My schedule has changed a little bit because of IRL reasons, so I'm streaming now on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. That'll be up for the next couple of months, and then it should go back to the normal schedule. We'll see about that. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. And with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace!